Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. As I mentioned in a post that I made a couple days ago, I am going to start taking video submissions for this channel, and one of the series I'm taking submissions for is a coaching series. For that series, I'll look at your battles in depth and analyze them and critique them to help you guys climb. If you want help in GBL, I highly recommend submitting your battles. It's basically free coaching. And the second series is a showcasing series where I show off any cool battles that you guys might want to share with the community. So for today's video, I am going to be showcasing some battles that were submitted to me by Srijan Yellow. He's also a Pokemon Go GBL content creator. Here on YouTube, he has a channel. It's called Srijan Yellow Pogo. I will link it in the description if you want to check it out. His videos are really nice. I went and checked them out. They're really good. So his team is going to be Shadow Dragonair lead with Lickitung and Lantern in the back. I believe the Lickitung is going to be used as a safe swap. This is the first time I'm watching these battles. I haven't seen them yet, so you're sort of going to get my live reaction to the battles. But already on first glance, I can tell you guys that this team is going to be very solid. It's very versatile and very, very meta. I know that on my channel, I usually showcase a lot of teams that are kind of weird, maybe a little bit off meta. But it's nice once in a while to look at a team that is going to be super meta and really user-friendly. So that's enough rambling from me. Let's get into these battles. Up first, it looks like he is going to be up against a Golbat. So he took that first Poison Fang on Dragonair, he went for a Body Slam and managed to take a shield from the Golbat. He then swaps into Lickitung, which makes sense. He wants to clear that debuff from the Poison Fang on the Dragonair. And as I suspected, Lickitung is a safe swap. Good thing he didn't draw out a fighter. I would imagine that Golbat would be paired with a fighter, but it looks like he is going to draw out a Dunsparce, and it's actually good that we're seeing the Dunsparce here because Lantern doesn't really perform well against it. It is going to have Drill Run for Lantern. At least he was able to get the Dunsparce really low with Licky, and then it looks like he brought in Dragonair to do as much Dragon Breath damage as he could to the Dunsparce. And then the Dunsparce was able to make it to 2 moves, one to take the Dragonair out and one to take Licky out. And it looks like we are going to save 2 shields for Lantern. And our opponent is going to have their own Lantern in the back. Now we are a shield up, so we should have an advantage in this matchup. If our opponent falls for the bait here, which they do, we should be able to outpace to that Thunderbolt, take the Lantern out, and I believe the Golbat is in Spark range. You just have to hope that the Golbat doesn't make it to another Poison Fang. They don't. We're able to take them out and take that win. Okay, up next, this is a bit of a tricky lead because Annihilate is pretty spammy, first of all, if it has the Night Slash, and the counters are going to be chunking Shadow Dragonair. So we do manage to take a shield from them with the Aqua Tail. They are going to be able to outpace to the next Night Slash, however, and it looks like we are investing both shields into Dragonair. We're able to take them out and take lead at least. And this is one of the examples where winning lead was very important. That's because our opponent is going to have that Skarmory and Lantern is going to wall Skarmory. They're also going to have their own Lantern in the back. We can have our Lickitung aligned to it. We just have to watch out for their final shield. Gonna go for a Power Whip here, expecting to take the opponent's final shield. We do. And I believe the Lickitung should live a Thunderbolt comfortably, but oh no, the opponent goes for a Surf, which is actually a lot smarter. They recognize that 2 Surfs is the play to take the Lickitung out, and that way we can't reach a Power Whip to throw on the Lantern, so it's going to get really close here. Are we going to be able to take the Lantern out with a Surf? We are, and let's hope that the Skarmory can't reach another Brave Bird. They don't. We're able to get to that Surf and take the Skarmory out. GG's to our opponent. Up next, it looks like we are going to face a Gligar on the lead. At least Dragonair has the Aqua Tail to hit for super effective. However, I don't expect our opponent to allow any of the Aqua Tails to land. They are going to be going straight Aerial Ace, and it looks like our battler is going to go ahead and double shield Dragonair. Again, I'm starting to recognize that the strategy here is double shield Dragonair, win lead, and then RPS the backline. So our opponent is going to swap into Lickitung. I guess they didn't want to invest a second shield into Gligar, and they take the move on Lickitung. We are going to swap into our own Lickitung, which makes sense because the Licks are going to be resisted, first of all, and Lickitung has Power Whip for our Lantern, so we definitely don't want to bring Lantern into this. We do save our Dragonair with a little bit of health in the back, which is nice, and it looks like we are going to be able to take their Lickitung out with our own. So let's see what our opponent decides to bring in next. They bring the Gligar back in. We have a Body Slam ready. They let it go, And it looks like our opponent is also going to have a lantern in the back. Gonna bring Dragonair in and go for 2 body slams. We actually reached that. Wow. And we take their final shield, and now it looks like we just need to land a Thunderbolt from our lantern to take this out. I think we should live 2 Thunderbolts from this lantern, but our opponent goes ahead and top lefts. So, GG's. Moving on to the next battle, it looks like we are going to see a Charge-a-Bug on the lead. I want to see how we play this out because I know that X-Scissor really hurts. I'm expecting him to shield here because he's been shielding his Dragonair the whole time. So he lets the first X-Scissor go, but he does shield the second one, and he still manages to win the lead. That's good. It looks like the opponent brought in a Carbink. We were able to reach an Aqua Tail on it and take a shield from them. And I think the play here would be to go in Lantern. Yep, that's exactly what he does, because Lantern is going to be a lot spammier than Lickitung. And our opponent, as soon as they see the Lantern, they go ahead and they swap into their own Lickitung. I like the play of weakening it with a Thunderbolt before swapping into our own Licky. This way we can guarantee that we can win this mirror matchup, whereas before, if they were ahead by energy and we just swapped into Licky without doing any damage to it, then I think we would have lost. Anyways, we're able to take their Licky out. We're still very healthy on our Lickitung, but it looks like our opponent goes ahead and quits. I think they're going to make us fast move them down completely. But he cut it out for me, so thank you for not making us sit through that. Anyways, moving on to the next match, we're going to see that Gligar lead again. Gligar is such a common lead in the current meta, and it looks like they do let the Aqua Tail land. They take a shield from us, and then they swap into Dewgong. We have 2 answers technically for Dewgong in the back, so I really like this play of not allowing your opponent to farm the Dragonair down and saving it in the back. It's still very healthy, by the way, and bringing in Lickitung. Also, Dewgong with energy, especially for the backline that we have, could be quite deadly, so I really like that play there. We were also able to take a shield from them with the Power Whip, and our opponent waited way too long to swap into Lantern, and they basically switch-locked themselves up against a healthy Dragonair. So we're going to be able to take the Lantern out with Dragonair, and it looks like he did something really nice there. He stopped tapping because he recognized that the Dewgong could potentially farm the Dragonair down, and he doesn't want to give the Dewgong any farm. Again, it has drill run for Lantern, but as soon as they see the Lantern, they top left. On to the next match, we see a superior lead, and our opponent immediately swaps into Skeledirge. Now, we bring in Lantern, and I kind of don't like this play. Now, I haven't seen this match yet. I could be wrong, but usually when an opponent brings in a Skeledirge save swap, they are trying to draw the Lantern out. They might have something else in the back that is going to be weak to Lantern. And now that they've gotten the Lantern out of the way, I am curious to see what they have in the back. Hopefully it is something that we can take care of with Licky. We're just going to go for these body slams up against this Serperior. They let it go, and as I expected, it is going to be a Talonflame. I actually ran into a similar team today. It was Whimsicott, Skeledirge, and Talonflame in the back. I brought in Lantern immediately when I saw Skeledirge, and then I realized I made a big mistake. What I had in the back also could not handle Talonflame, so unfortunately I did lose that. But here it looks like we are going to be able to handle the Talonflame with a team effort of Dragonair and Lickitung, so GG's to our opponent. Okay, now this is the matchup I wanted to see. I was curious what he does against Wigglytuff lead, because Wigglytuff lead is really tricky for this team to deal with. It looks like he is swapping in the Lickitung into it. Even though the Licks are going to be resisted, at least he can do damage with the body slams. But unfortunately, he draws out a Greedent, and he goes ahead and shields against the Greedent. I don't think he can win this. The Greedent is going to be able to outpace to the body slams, and they are going to be able to make it to another one. So I don't think we shield here. We let the Lickitung go. We're going to bring Dragonair in and farm the Greedent down. And we just have to hope that Lantern can sweep whatever they have in the back, but it looks like we are going to lose this. They have their own Lantern left, and they have 2 shields left where we have 1 shield. So I can't think of any scenario where we can win this, except for if our opponent lags out. That's our only win condition, our opponent lagging. Anyways, just going to go for this Thunderbolt up against this Lantern, and of course, not going to be able to take it out. They are going to be able to hit us with a move as well. And even from this range, 2 Aqua Tails is not going to be enough to take the Wigglytuff out. And they also have a shield left, so they can easily take our Dragonair out. Unfortunately, we're going to take a loss there. But that was 4 wins in that set, so pretty impressive. Okay, next game. This is a lead we haven't seen yet. It is a Jellicent, and it looks like he goes ahead and makes a catch on Lickitung. It could have been a Shadow Ball, so it makes complete sense. However, our opponent is staying in. There's no way they don't have an answer to Lickitung on their team, right? That's, you're running Jelly, you must have an answer to normal types. But they're staying in. Very interesting choice. They also let the Power Whip go, so they basically lose the lead, and then they bring in Quagsire. So, oh my gosh, they let the Power Whip go. Okay, so I'm guessing full team weak to Lickitung, and our opponent kind of just gave up here. They might have had a chance to win that, though. I think they should have shielded that. Alright, next match, we see a Pelipper on the lead, and our opponent swaps into Whiscash. That is not an answer to Dragonair, but I guess it makes more sense than Pelipper. Pelipper is a lot squishier, and at least the Whiscash is going to be able to hit for neutral Mud Bombs. But the fact that they bring Whiscash in here is really good for us because we have Lantern in the back. We now have Whiscash aligned to Lickitung. We're also taking shields from them. With the Power Whips, we managed to take both their shields, and then we can bring Dragonair in. We have a move stored on Dragonair. Unfortunately, it doesn't KO the Whiscash. We have to take a Mud Bomb, and that puts us in the yellow. And our opponent is going to have, was that a Stunfisk? Looks like a Stunfisk. They managed to catch the Aqua Tail on their Pelipper, however, but we should be able to fully farm this Pelipper down and have a ton of energy for the Stunfisk in the back. So of course we're not going to shield anything from this Pelipper, go for a full farm down, and I think we should be able to reach 2 Surfs on the Stunfisk. I think 2 Surfs is enough to take it out, right? Let's see, I can't quite remember. I think we might need 3. Nope, we just need 2. Okay, so going for that second Surf, hopefully this takes it out. It does, it's enough to KO, and we take that win. Next match, we are going to see a Greedent on the lead. Now, I run Greedent lead, and up against Dragonairs, I know that the Greedent can do really well because of how spammy it is. But our opponent swaps out into Skeledirge, so I'm thinking this could be a double fire backline. They're definitely trying to lure the Lantern out, but as we've seen, if it is a double fire backline, we still have that Dragonair to take care of a potential second fire type in the back. So they've let Skeledirge go, they bring Greedent back in, they're able to take our Lantern out, and then we can bring Dragonair in and go immediately for a move. However they shield, that means whatever they have in the back is going to be weak to Dragonair. We are going to be able to get to another move on Dragonair, however, and they let it go, and it looks like we were right. They are going to have a Talonflame in the back. We're able to reach an Aqua Tail at least on the Dragonair and take their final shield, and now all we have to do is reach a Body Slam on Lickitung, and that combined with the Lick damage should be enough to take this Talonflame out. Alright, it looks like there's one more battle here, but it's very, very short. I wonder why. It looks like we have a really bad lead of Empoleon. Oh, okay, so we swap into Lickitung and our opponent brings in a Trevenant. Very interesting, very short match too. Okay, and that brings us to the end of our video. That was all the matches I had to share with you guys. Huge shout out again to Srijan Yellow for submitting these battles. Again, check out his channel. These were really well played, and I hope you guys learned from them. I definitely learned from them. I want to try this team now. It's very solid. And if you guys like my content, please consider subscribing, maybe leave a like. It helps me out so much. I'm going to try to do a showcase maybe once a week if I have enough submissions. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!